What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Serene Madness. Today we're going to talk about, I've been collecting stuff for a long time, and this will be the first in a series of about 3 videos that I'm going to do on my martial arts collection. I've been collecting martial arts stuff for a long time. I used to take martial arts when I was younger, in my teens and 20s, and I've taken Shotokan and Aikido. I've just been hooked on martial arts for a long time, so I've collected a lot of stuff. I have some really cool books that I want to show you, and they're all first print, and they're just classic, and they're awesome, and you don't see them around much anymore. I have 3 books to show you, and then I got some really cool magazines and some back issues of stuff that you might like. First book I'm going to show you is the Filipino Martial Arts book. This was put out by, written by Danny Inosanto, which was one of Bruce Lee's first students, and he still teaches his style today, Jeet Kune Do, and there's a very few handful of Bruce Lee's original students around that still teach, and but since then, like, his style has gone on, and there's generations and generations of people that still teach it, the original Jeet Kune Do, and it's just all on Filipino fighting, stick fighting, knife fighting. It's really cool. I'll show you some of the inside of it, and it's the classic form of Filipino fighting, and it's an awesome book. And these are all first print. The next book I want to show you is the Bali Song Manual. This is the original Bali Song Manual, first print, and this was put out by Jeff Amata on No Now Publishing. This is pretty much the Bible for Bali songs. It goes over everything about blade styles, about companies, and everything. I mean, this book predates a lot of the companies that are out now. Like, they used to have like Pac Cutlery, Pacific Cutlery, and Jaguar, and all those other companies, Parker, Taylor, that made all the classic Bali Song knives, or butterfly knives. And actually, here's a quick fact. The technical term for the butterfly knife is the Bali Song. But there's a catch. Bali Song is the original knife, and it's the Filipinos call it the Bali Song. The Americans called it the butterfly knife. And the reason why they call it the butterfly knife is because of the butterfly logo that you see on many of the blades. So, in actuality, the logo, the butterfly logo, is only actually trademarked to one company. So only one company can use the butterfly logo, and that company is Benchmade. They are the only ones that can legally use the butterfly logo. A lot of other companies will use the butterfly logo, but it's not, unless they're licensing it from Benchmade. Benchmade is the only company that's legally allowed to use the butterfly logo, because the butterfly logo was originally put out by Pacific Cutlery. They were the ones who came up with it, the logo itself, and they put Bali Song on it because Bali Song is the original name of the knife. The Americans just called it the butterfly knife because of the logo. And then when Pacific Cutlery changed their name, they changed their name to Benchmade in the mid-80s. And they went from Pac Cutlery or Pacific Cutlery to Benchmade. So Benchmade is the only company that's legally allowed to use the actual butterfly logo that says Bali Song on it. So there's a quick fact. Second book I want to show you is the Advanced Body Sign Manual. This is the second one that came out a couple years later. If you have the first one, you have to have the second one. I think they might actually have a third one, I'm not sure, but I have to check that one out. So, I also have some really, really cool Bruce Lee books and magazines, and I'm going to show you those. This one came out in July of '88, and here is an old Inside Kung Fu. And what I liked about these magazines, they're not as good as they used to be, but they still have them. And they still have all those really cool old ads to buy weaponry, when weaponry was like easier to buy, until the mid-'80s, and then they started banning everything. And if you know anything about classic martial arts magazines, there was one company that always placed the largest ad in these old magazines, and they think they still do it today, which was Asian World of Martial Arts. And they always took out the back cover. So on every single one of these old Inside Kung Fu magazines, they always have Asian World of Martial Arts on the back. But it was an independent collector's edition of a Bruce Lee magazine. This one came out in September of '94. And again, Asian World of Martial Arts on the back cover. Another Inside Kung Fu. This one was put out in August of '87. Bruce Lee. And again on the back, Asian World of Martial Arts. And this one was about Bruce Lee behind the scenes of Enter the Dragon. Now on to these other books. I have a whole series of these original Bruce Lee books. And a friend of mine from high school collected tons of Bruce Lee stuff. And he got divorced and he was moving. And he was going to throw out all these old magazines, these old books. And I rescued them from the trash because I'm like, these are just way too awesome to throw away. So the first one is The Untold Story of Bruce Lee, with a whopping price tag of $350 on the back. And this came out in the early '80s. And this was basically a mini bio of Bruce Lee's life. And it's pretty cool. They also came out with this whole series of Bruce Lee, independent Bruce Lee books, like magazine style books, and each book was kind of like based on a Bruce Lee movie. Like this one, for instance. Let me show you a good example. Here's one. Like this one's all about the Bruce Lee movie, The Big Boss. And there's a whole bunch of like Bruce Lee magazines on the back. Independent books. You know, and they're magazine size. You know, really cool. I have all these old black and white photos in here of behind the scenes stuff. Tons of it. And there's a whole series on these. Enter the Dragon. Here's one on the Game of Death. Warrior from Shaolin. This one's Way of the Dragon. And I just got a whole ton of them. There's about a dozen books that I have. There's a whole bunch more. You know, that one. I'm sorry. That one. Just a whole ton of them. They're all old, and they're all original. And most of these are in like very, very, very good shape. There's a couple of them where the bindings are loose, but most of them are very, like, almost near mint. And there's a whole bunch more. So that's my little bit of a Bruce Lee collection that I have. I do have some really cool ninja videos of my experience in the ninja world with the ninja people. I do have ties with ninja people, and it's really, really cool, and I'll tell that story. One of the cool things about these books is, and I was going through these and I was flipping through them, I actually found the original receipt for what he paid. And the original receipt on these books were August of '82. That's when he bought these. My buddy of mine. And like I said, he was going to throw all these away. And I rescued them from the trash, and I have them today. And like I said, on these Bruce Lee books, these ones, there's about a dozen of them, and I probably will sell these at one point. Maybe sooner than later, because I could use the money. Because I have something big coming up over the summer, and I need to pay for it. So some of my collection is going to have to go. So if there is anybody out there that are interested in these books, let me know, and we can work something out. So, if you have any old cool books or anything like that that's cool and old, I'd like to see what you have. So please, if you're so inclined, do a video and let me see what you guys got. Like I said, I do have a couple more of these videos coming up. I do have a Knife Talk Tuesday video coming out tomorrow. And as always, please like, subscribe, comment. All these things help my channel out and support me. I'd appreciate you. I appreciate all your support. Find your Serene in a mad world. I'm out. Have an awesome day.
I just fucking shot myself.